Welcome to the Whole Lotta Woman podcast, where we explore, explain, and discuss what makes us a whole lot of women in today's society. I created the Whole Lotta Woman brand to embrace the four traits that I feel make someone a whole lot of woman in today's world, and those are beauty, brain, strength, and standards. We'll be covering a variety of topics from relationships to real estate. If you would like to join this sisterhood, please subscribe, share with a friend, and stay tuned for more.
I won't be defined, stars are aligned. What's for me is mine. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of. I've been refined, beauty's divine. All things in God's time. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman.
Welcome to the Whole Lotta Woman podcast, Women with Purpose series. Today, I have the honor of interviewing Ericka Degraff, a fashion expert and a Screen Actors Guild Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Welcome, Ericka.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Happy New Year. Happy 2023.
Happy New Year. 2023 is going to be so great.
Yes, it is. I can already feel it. It's already 7 days in, and it's already been a busy 7 days. So I can only imagine what's next for the next 11 months.
Right, booked and busy. That's how
booked and busy.
That's how an actor's supposed to be.
Yes.
And so we already kind of started talking. Say it. Just reiterate how you say you've been fashion. How long you've been doing fashion, and how long you've been doing acting.
Okay. So, for those that don't know me, I started out in the fashion industry. I got my degree in fashion merchandising management. And from there, because I'm originally from Chicago. So I started styling in Chicago, doing all the commercial styling, whether it was for Nike or at the time Bonton, which was like a big retailer. And it just got to a point where I just wanted bigger. My vision was bigger, So I started traveling to New York on my own dime, doing free photo shoots.
Oh, wow.
Just to get my name out there, because I was young and I was about that hustle. And before I knew it, I started doing work for Vogue, and then I started branching out, doing work with music artists. And it was 8 years later, it took me all over the world. When I say I was in Paris, I was in London, I was just anywhere that you could think of, I was. And then about 4 years ago, I was in Brentwood, California, styling a advertisement. And it was just something in me where I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore, And I was like, well, what else can I do? And then I decided to step into acting, and I never looked back. So yeah.
Wow. And how did you get into Vogue? How did you stumble into that kind of job?
Stumble. It definitely was a stumble. I think honestly it was, and it's still like this to this day. It's all about who you know. And I think me traveling to New York while I was still in Chicago on my own dime, just trying to connect with people, and it was word of mouth, because I will say my first 2 years as a stylist, I did not even have a website. So I was getting booked primarily off of just people like, hey, I worked with Ericka, you should definitely work with her. And then within that 2.5 year mark, I had got an agent in Chicago, and that really helped elevate me as well. So I was with that agency for about a year, but then it got to a point where the clients were just contacting me directly. So I didn't need an agent anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it really started.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, as far as your acting, what's some projects that you've been doing?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I started off in theater, doing off Broadway in New York. So a lot of people always tell me, why do I keep returning to theater? Because I don't know if I shared it with you. I just came back from a 3-month residency in Minnesota doing a play called Good People. So I was there for 3 months, and in the beginning of 2022, I was also in Sacramento, California for 3 months doing the play Doubt, playing Viola Davis's character, Mrs. Muller, So I started in theater, and it was the first place to ever give me a voice. So I will always return to that. So in the last couple months, I've been doing theater, but branching off, I just did a show on BET, American Gangsters. I did that, which was such an amazing experience. So definitely check it out. It's on BET Plus. I have a new show coming out with comedian Andrew Bach. I have a supporting role in that where I'm playing a scientist. And it's many more. It's many more. But those are the most recent. Yes.
That's great. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And it's only up from there. What are your dreams? Like, what's your aspirations as an actress?
Oh, I mean, obviously it is to bring my mama an Oscar. That is the goal. That is what is going to come to pass, and it's really, past the accolades. I will say that it's more about making people feel something. Everything that I do, I make sure that it's intentional. And I think that that's an important message to get across to all of your listeners, is that you have to be intentional with your purpose, and it's about like what you're actually doing, So with every project I take, I try to ensure that it is relatable. I want you to see me as that character and instantly think like, oh my goodness, I have a mother like that. I have a sister like that. I have a friend like that, and that just evokes emotion. So that is my overall aspiration and goal, yes, the success is nice, but at the end of the day, it's more about leaving that legacy and that lasting memory,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you, let's say, prepare for your roles? Because, I say that, and I ask because, everybody, let's say, wants to be a singer, actress, and everybody has a camera these days,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a difference between somebody who, like you said, prepares and takes the artist that role serious and is going to prepare for it versus, okay, I got the script and you got the camera and we just gonna wing it.
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying, and I get this question a lot, especially from my peers or other emerging actors. I am a method actor. I started at the Stella Adler in New York. And then I moved on to doing film and TV intensives at the Stella Adler here in LA. I'm more about really becoming the character. And with that, it's living as the character. So depending on the role, I will have everyone I know call me that character's name. And then I really start to connect. You have to build a backstory first off, to the character. And it's like, where did this character come from? What is the religion of this character? How old are they? Like really getting the details down, and living as it. And I think that that's why, like, many people who have seen my works have said that I have embodied the character because I have become them, Yeah. I remember very early in my career, I had a role where it was for theater, and I had to play 3 different characters in one play. And it was a generation of a generation of a generation, and for that play was up for about a month and a half, 2 months. I did not go on social media. Because during that time they did not have social media,
right.
And this type of character, she had she had a lot of internal struggles. So I really built off of that, and made it real. And till this day, people still talk about that character. Wow. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, that people can still remember you. And that was like the first body of work that I had ever done. Yeah.
Right. So do you go into that as soon as you get the script, like, okay, this is the character I'm supposed to be now, let me cut my social media off, or do you wait till like 2 weeks before you got to actually play the role, or how long?
Well, it depends, because a lot of people have already seen, I have not been posting since I think the 31st of the new year, because I'm preparing for another character. It's really about, as soon as I get the script, I read it over like multiple times, because it's more than just seeing the words on the script, and just saying them. It's putting weight to them. It's bringing life to the words. It's the undertones of the word that tells a lot about the character, So, it honestly, it just depends. In some cases, like say if the character is based right now in 2023, where social media is so prevalent, I may not need to go off social media. But I think that in preparing for a character, I just want to put all of my focus into that, because it's not about being the character, but it's about bringing parts of yourself that you've either buried or didn't know what was there, so that's how I prepare.
I'm sorry, yes. My dog's barking in the background.
No, it's okay. Hi, little dog.
You should hear somebody outside, I think. Yeah. And I was going to ask, oh, she threw me off. Look, I was like, I just had my let me see. Oh, what are some pros and cons in the industry for women in general?
You hitting me hard with these questions now. Oh my gosh. I mean, there are so many pros and cons with any industry, right? So I would say definitely it's not about, a lot of people think that your age as a woman has something to do with you not getting booked, or not really going and pursuing the life as an actor. Like I try to tell everybody, age actually makes you better, because you have experiences to dig from, So I would say that for me, that's a pro, I mean, I mean, I'm not a young tenderoni anymore, but but I haven't yet reached my prime yet. But I'm just saying, a pro is just being able to have the privilege to be a storyteller, and it goes beyond being a woman, a male, whatever, you know what I mean? It's about having the opportunity to tell a story. I think that a lot of people see a con in the industry is being rejected so much. Like, you have to have thick skin in this industry, because it's like you can get 100 auditions and only probably book 2, and it's like, I don't see that as a con anymore. I see that as, okay, I wasn't their cup of tea, but what did I learn from that audition? What did I learn from that character, and how can I apply it to the next one? So I know that that question is very, it's difficult to answer, because
it's kind of broad.
It's very, very much broad in a good way, and I just personally, I look at everything in a very positive light, the things that I didn't get booked for, I'm like, whoa, thank you, God, you just protected me from that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and the things that I thought was the smallest projects and that I got booked for ended up being worldwide, so yeah, I just say, just always look with everything with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? And take what you can and leave what you don't need,
And let's say, I guess I should have asked it like this. What sacrifices, if any, do people have to make or consider before they say, I want to be an actress? Like,
Thank you so much for asking that question. The sacrifice is, first off, not really having a personal life. It's like, you miss out, and I won't even say you, but I'll speak from personal experience. I miss out on a lot of family events, birthday parties, like the whole 9 yards, because I have to work or I have to be in another state, and I think that is a huge sacrifice, because oftentimes you feel alone, and you are by yourself most of the time. And I would say anybody who's thinking of getting in this industry, they need to actually sit down and think about, am I willing to put my career, and not even my career, but my passion ahead of family and friends for a little bit, right. Because it gets you get lonely, you know what I mean?
And
go ahead.
And I was gonna say, and from the outside it looks like a big sacrifice when you're putting your hustle or your passion in front of your family and you're not getting paid for it.
Woo! Say that again. Yeah. Yes. And I think that for me has been the biggest sacrifice, but I'm so glad that I have a family that is very supportive of everything that I'm doing. They're the type of people that just say, Ericka, just let us know what hotel you staying at, what state you're in, and just have fun, mm-hmm. Because they know the end goal, so I would say, sacrifice is even the time that you put in with reading scripts and becoming characters. It's a lot. I will be honest, I lost many friends because they couldn't understand, why I couldn't go out, and be out till 2-3 in the morning, like them days are over. We got to have good skin now,
Right.
So yes, I think that is one of the biggest sacrifices. And one thing I do want to speak on is that, once you become so deep in this industry, you have to remember not to sacrifice your soul.
Yes.
I've seen it, especially when I was in the fashion industry, and there's no dollar amount worth it to do that. So yes, I think if you keep all of that in mind, you're going to do very well in this industry.
Okay. And as far as like your social circle, do you find it yourself easier to hang around other artists and people in that kind of industry versus corporate 9-to-5 friends who may not understand why we got to call Ericka Shantae for the next 2 months?
Yeah. Well, I would say since the pandemic, I've become such an introvert, that it's like I don't even bother wanting to be around people anymore. But I do find it easier to be around people that are outside of the industry. And I find that I actually enjoy it even more because they're not asking me about when's your next project, when was the last time you worked, and things like that. Like they are actually speaking about things that are, of more importance in this world.
Substance, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I have a lot of creative friends, but a lot of the things that we always end up talking about is just the industry, because that is an interest that we both have in common. Right. But yeah, I mean, I love everybody. Everybody can be my friend. But yeah, I do find it easier just to be with people that aren't in the industry. Yeah.
Okay. I get that. And because that's when you get to turn off work,
Oh yeah, and it's crazy. And I also want to speak on this, that we always get that question as actors or music artists or whatever the case of what's the biggest project you've been in? And I always tell people, stop asking that question, because it makes actors and artists feel like the projects that they're doing aren't of worth because you haven't seen it or haven't heard it or whatever the case. I just heard this statistic that there's 300,000 actors in LA alone, working actors. Okay, so if you get, a commercial with Billy Bob, whatever, you know what I mean, that is a win, because you just beat out 300,000 people who may or may not have gone for that same role, you know. So yeah.
It's like giving them an inferiority complex that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Instead of just acknowledging they're working actors.
They're working actors. And I don't know if I can speak for everybody else, but as actors, we are very sensitive. And most actors are very shy. I consider myself a shy person now,
My cousin just told me that right before I spoke to you, because she's a theater actor. She was like, I'm an introvert for the most part. She was like, when I get on the stage, it's something different.
It's like, something different, because you're actually, and I think it is because you're not yourself. And when you're vulnerable, you're being vulnerable as that character, but you're able to mask it, even if it's your own vulnerabilities, So yeah.
Like, that's cool. When it's like, so in between your gigs, how do you like stay inspired or like motivated, to keep going? Like if it's during the downtime.
The downtime, let's see. When the last time that was that? No. During my downtime, I like to people watch. I people watch like crazy. Sometimes I'll go to the park. I'll go to the museum. Definitely, I'm a big museum person. And I just watch people, like their mannerisms, and with that's how I'm able to channel so many different characters. Because if you even think about yourself, and how you utilize your hands, why you always, eat this certain way. Do you hum when you eat? It all comes from a place psychologically, so I use all of that to stay inspired to become these different characters, and outside of anything that has to do with work, I'll say, like I said, I go to a lot of museums, I get a lot of facials, I get a lot of massages. That's how I stay relaxed. You have to be relaxed as an actor, so that's what I do in my downtime. I read. I haven't said this publicly, but I'll say this publicly right now. I'm in the process of writing a book. So that has been taking up a lot of my time as well. So that's how I stay inspired to keep going.
Back and talk about the book too when you put that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's I just got the edits back, I think about 2.5 weeks ago. And it's looking very good. So I'm hoping, God willing, that it will be put out within the next 3 or 4 months. But yes, the whole idea is about inspiring you to be your highest self, and it's through like daily affirmations. It's basically like a coffee table book, but with affirmations and true life stories of things that has happened to me, but is definitely very relatable to everybody.
Okay, yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I really love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we shall see. So that has been taking up a majority of my free time outside of being on set.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, just being productive in every avenue.
I'm just the type of person that's like, use every gift that God gave you. Okay. Like, I don't believe that you were put on this earth to only do one thing, which is go work that 9 to 5 and pay your bills and die. Like, that's not you. We're all put here for a purpose. And
that's not living to me either.
That's not living, Life is about inspiring people to be the best that they could be. And if it's through you telling your story of how you started your podcast, that's going to inspire somebody to want to do a podcast too, and that's what it's about, is building each other up, so yeah, I'm using every gift. Right.
And I wanted to go back to what you said about how you say it's inappropriate pretty much to ask an actor or actress what's the biggest project you've been in, because I wanted to say, we have so many other forms of entertainment now besides cable TV and the movies. You know, we got Netflix, we got Amazon, you got YouTube, you got
Tubi.
You know,
We got Freebo.
Everybody
Yeah.
has streaming services now. So how do you measure success in a day like today's day and time with so many realms? Because a big project is no longer just getting a cable TV primetime commercial slot. You know, like it was in the 90s.
In the 90s.
So yeah, it's like,
I'm measuring success is that you're being able to go out and do what you love and still make a living without selling your soul. That is success to me, you know. And you mentioned it. Yeah, there are so many streaming platforms right now, you know, and it's like, okay, I'm going to show on Amazon Prime. If I say the show and you don't know it, does that mean I'm not successful? That just means it's not of your interest, you know. So the better question that I always challenge people to ask is, are you being fulfilled with the things that you're doing? You know, and if the answer is yes, then boom, you're on the right path, you know. And every road that I've taken on in these 4 years has fulfilled me in some capacity, you know. And yeah, I think that I'm doing all right. I'm successful, you know.
I feel all right.
Yeah, I feel all right, you know.
And like, and so just to close it out, what advice do you want to give? Like, what words do you want to leave with any woman aspiring to be an actress or stylist or just trying to get into that industry as a whole?
My word of advice is never give up. Never allow someone to tell you that you are not good enough, you are not pretty enough, you are too old, because all of that is it's not true. You know, if it was whispered in your ear, if God whispered in your ear this promise, that means that he needs it to come to pass. So it's like I tell everybody, let's keep fighting the good fight and live to inspire and live just to drive towards not just a dream, but your reality. So yeah, that's where I'm leaving at.
I love it. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Erika.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. This was a great way to start the new year.
And you the first in the series, so girl, you setting the tone.
Yeah.
And then you gotta definitely come back when once your book is published and you want to do some promo for that. Definitely come back. I'm happy to have you.
I will see you in 4 months.
Okay, girl.
You know.
And so. Thank you again. And thank you everybody listening.
Thank you.
Remember, beauty, brain, strength, and standards are what make you a whole lot of woman.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
I won't be defined. Stars are aligned. What's for me is mine. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of. I've been refined. Beauty's divine. All things in God's time. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women. 'Cause you're a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my